So, welcome back to the Michael Cohen Show. After much wrangling and much Donald Trump style delay tactics, Steve Bannon surrendered to FCI Danbury in Connecticut for a 4-month stay as a direct result of his refusal to turn over documents, to appear for deposition or for pursuant to subpoena. And here's the problem. Not that it's any consolation that he's now in prison and all, but at least it shows, at least today, it shows that law and order still exists in some parts of the judiciary. All right, Steve Bannon is responsible, as any one of us would be, in order to provide documentation to cooperate when you are subpoenaed. He didn't feel that it was necessary because, very much like his boss, very much like Donald, there is a false impression that they are above the law. And so today he surrendered, as I said before, to FCI Otisville, where he will be doing what's referred to in prison term, and I know some prison lingo, as being a short timer, 4 months. Though, to be honest with you, even doing 1 day absolutely sucks. Now, let's take a look at protesters. And let's go to that clip, and I'll react after that.
Nothing. They voted for Republicans to do their job. And sitting around and saying, oh, we'll wait, that is not good enough. Never surrender! All over the country. This is multiplying the war room costs by 10,000.
Hopefully 10,000%.
This is a Democrat district, and where's the Democrats? Where are they? Okay, nowhere.
Look, folks, if it took me going to prison, because remember, the reason I chose Danbury, I asked for Danbury for a very specific reason. Back in the only other person that's ever been sent to prison for a congressional subpoena, not going to a House subpoena, for contempt, held in contempt, was Rig Lardner Jr. Back in the 1940s, during the House Un-American Activity investigation. Columbia Studio fired him, because of his political beliefs. And then he was found guilty. They sent it to the DOJ. He was sent to prison. He was sent to this prison. That's why I requested Danbury, because there's no difference in his fight and in our fight. I'm a political prisoner of Nancy Pelosi. I'm a political prisoner of Merrick Garland. I'm a political prisoner of Joe Biden, the corrupt Biden establishment.
Wow. So it's the direct result of Nancy Pelosi, of Merrick Garland, and of course, your favorite president, President Biden. Thanks to them that Steve Bannon is being locked up. First of all, good for the protesters being out there. Though, personally, I would have liked to have been able to hear and listen to the nonsense that Steve Bannon was spewing about him being the first political prisoner. First of all, it's not true. He is right now undergoing the same sort of response that occurred to Peter Navarro, who happens to also be in prison for violating a subpoena. In fact, who else was there even before Peter Navarro? The CFO of the Trump Organization, Alan Weisselberg, for violating a subpoena to come and to testify at the Manhattan District Attorney case and so on, which again, he refused to. So I don't even know what Steve Bannon is talking about. And if he wants to talk about being a political prisoner, why don't you turn around and look no further, Steve, than yours truly, all right, who was unconstitutionally remanded back to Otisville because I refused to waive my First Amendment constitutional right off of a non-existent document that was created specifically for me, a counterfeit document. That is what one would call unjust. And that took place, wait for it, that took place under the Trump administration with wonderful wonderful Attorney General, the bloviated bastard himself, Bill Barr. So before you start wanting to, smack yourself in the diaper, let me be very clear about something. You are not a political prisoner, my friend. What you are is a violator of a subpoena, and you are now reaping the repercussions that you should have many months ago despite the fact that you have tried every trick in the Trump playbook to delay it as long as you possibly could. Well, and delay no more. Now, let me also say this. I'd like to listen to, because you have to listen to Marjorie Toilet Green speaking about this, and just the manner to which she articulates what is happening to Steve Bannon is classic. So let's go to the clip, and then I'll give you a final reaction.
But everyone needs to remember there are thousands of people going into jail. They're in prison. They're spending years in prison. Some of them did nothing wrong. They just walked in the Capitol and they walked out. And then there's Steve Bannon going to prison. Peter Navarro's is in prison right now. And then we still have Jack Smith and many more people to come with this two-tier justice system.
Congresswoman, Steve Bannon said over the weekend that over these next 4 months, he wants action. He wants people not to be quiet, to really get about the business of bringing our America back and doing the things that are going to make America not only great again, but also keeping America first. In your mind, how does that look? How does that action look? What should people be doing over the next 4 months, or just in general, but let's just use 4 months as a barometer while he's in prison? How does that look?
Well, what that looks like is everyone needs to get on the ground, talk to your friends, talk to your family. We have to turn out the vote in November. That's what Steve Bannon wants us to do. He wants everyone to stay focused on victory in November. That's how we make all of this stop. That's how we return freedom to the American people. That's how we secure our southern border. That's how we end the foreign wars. And that's how we get America back on track for America first. That's what Steve wants everybody to do. That's going to be the greatest thing you do for Steve Bannon, and we thank everybody for staying focused on the trail.
Congresswoman, thanks so much for being with us.
Wow. Talk about being able to take every Trump talking point and mash it into a 3-minute statement that is batshit crazy, which is exactly what Marjorie Toilet Green is. First and foremost, all right, we all know that the protesters are not heroes. They're not hostages. All right. We know what hostages are. They are not. These were people that improperly, illegally entered the Capitol. They assaulted police officers. They created all forms of havoc. They created destruction inside the Capitol, and they were judged by a court of law for their actions, and they are in prison as a direct result of that. The fact that they are once again trying to somehow validate that these people peacefully were protesting, in fact, it was the police that ushered them into the Capitol, is pure bullshit, and somebody has to call out, which of course is why that they keep going on these right-wing media stations who will not push back on anything that these people say. So she's on Newsmax, she's on OAN, she's on Fox News. They're not pushing back against the truth. The truth is, we saw it with our own eyes. We heard the statements from police officers like Harry Dunn or Michael Fanone, who expressed what was going on. We saw the videos. We've seen the photographs. We know exactly who these people are. We know why they were there. They were there because Donald J. Trump told them to be there. And they went in and they created all forms of havoc, destruction. One person ended up dying. Police officers got injured and killed. I mean, this is complete nonsense. And that's the problem also as it relates to the media, all right? Whether it's that right-wing ecosphere that refuses to push back and to challenge the person who is out there spewing the lies, very much like Trump did on the debate stage. You need to have people, regardless of whether they are right-leaning, left-leaning, or centrist, you need to push back against the lies. And you know what? This is not going to inure to their benefit. Why? Simply because what ends up happening is people, whether you are a right-winger, whether you're centrist or left, you saw for yourself exactly what happened. What Marjorie Taylor Greene is telling you, don't believe your lying eyes. believe what I'm telling you. And nobody is believing the bullshit that she's spewing. Hey, everyone. First of all, thanks for watching. I mean, we're going to be posting daily episodes with reactions and talking about politics. We'll be talking about everything, in fact. So please like and subscribe. Join us on this journey.